G'day YouTubers, I will review last week's round of the 2024 AFL season. Before I start, it will be appreciated if you can subscribe to my channel. Please help me get to 1,000 subscribers. The first game of the week was between Adelaide and Port Adelaide. The local showdown between the two South Australian sides played on a Thursday night. There were 52,106 people that attended the game at Adelaide Oval. The goal kickers for the Crows were 3 goals to Rankin, 2 goals to Walker and Fogarty, and singles to Scholl, Rochelle, McHenry, Keys and Cook. For the Power, Warren Francis kicked 2 goals and singles to Rioli, Marshall and Dixon. The best players for the Crows were Walker, Keane, Crouch, Rankin and Solidigo. The best players for the Power were Wines, Butters, Bergman and Warren Francis. For the game, the Crows suffered no injuries, whereas Power had injuries to Georgiades with a knee injury and leg injury to Jones and Rosie with a hamstring, who was subbed off during the game. The Crows had a flying start, kicking 2 goals in the first 3 minutes of the game. They ended the first quarter by scoring 5 goals to 3 to take a 8-point lead at quarter time. In the second quarter, Crows held the Power goalless, with the Crows kicking 2 goals themselves, with the Crows taking a 19-point lead at half time. In the third quarter, the Crows kicked 2 goals and restricted the Power to just 1 goal, with the Crows taking a 23-point lead at 3/4 time. In the last quarter, Crows restricted the Power to 1 goal. Again, with the Crows kicking 3 goals themselves to win the game by 30 points. The Power had 23 scoring shots compared to the Crows 18, and the Power had 18 behinds. As they say, poor kicking is poor football. For the Crows, Solidigo had 28 disposals, followed by Crouch and Laird with 28 and 27 disposals respectively. For the Power, Butters had 33 disposals, followed by Wires and Houston with 22 and 20 disposals respectively. In looking at the stats, the Crows were plus 27 in disposals, they were minus 10 inside 50s, whereas their efficient inside 50 was also minus 4. That means the Crows forwards were so efficient when the ball went in there, even though the Crows efficiency inside 50 was worse than the Power, and their volume of inside 50 was less. Every time the ball went in the Crows forward line, they punished the opposition. The Crows were plus 5 in free kicks, the Crows were plus 1 in hitouts, in clearances they were minus 10, the contested possession the Crows were minus 14, and in uncontested possession the Crows were plus 30, and in turnovers the Crows were minus 6, which you want to be negative in this stat. The Crows led for 98% of the game. My 3-2-1 for the Brownlow votes are 3 votes to J. Saligo, Adelaide. He had 28 disposals, 1 mark, 10 tackles, 6 clearances and 340 metres gained. 2 votes to Z. Butters, Port Adelaide. He had 33 disposals, 1 mark, 5 tackles, 7 clearances and 624 metres gained. 1 vote to M. Crouch, Adelaide, playing in his 150th game. He had 28 disposals, 4 marks, 7 tackles, 6 clearances and 260 metres gained. The next game is between Carlton and Collingwood. The final score were Carlton 12 goals 7, 79 to Collingwood 12 goals 13, 85. The goal kickers for the Blues were 4 goals to McKay, 3 goals to Always, 2 goals to De Konging and Kerno, and 1 goal to Cottrell. For Collingwood, Nick Dacos kicked 2 goals and singles to Hoskin, Elliott, Hill, Pendlebury, Maida, Lipinski, Schultz, Sullivan, Harrison, Cox and Elliott. The best players for the Blues were Always, Walsh, McKay and Newman, and for the Magpies their best players were Lipinski, Cripps, Pendlebury and Dacos. For Collingwood, Mercury suffered a concussion. This game was close, with the Magpies winning by 1 goal. In the first quarter, Carlton won the first quarter by kicking 5 goals to 3 to take a 14-point lead at quarter time. In the second quarter, the Magpies won this quarter by scoring 5 goals to 1, with Collingwood leading by 11 points at half time. In the third quarter, Collingwood was goalless and Carlton kicked 3 goals, with the Blues taking a 5-point lead at 3/4 time. In the final quarter, Collingwood kicked 4 goals to 3, including Nick Dacos kicking a goal with 1 minute to go to put Collingwood in front by 6 points, and that was the last scoring shot, with the Magpies winning by 6 points. For the Blues, Walsh had 33 disposals, followed by Newman and Akers with 32 disposals each. For the Magpies, Dacos had 32 disposals, followed by Lipinski and Cripps with 24 and 23 disposals respectively. Looking at the stats, the Magpies were minus 42 in disposals, hence they had 33 less kicks and 9 less handballs. Inside 50, the Magpies were plus 26, what a dominating inside 50 stat. And for the efficiency, inside 50, the Magpies were minus 15%. The Magpies were fortunate that Cowden did not have that many inside 50. The Blues punished the Magpies every time they went inside 50. Collingwood were minus 1 in free kicks. In terms of stoppages, the Magpies were plus 1, and clearances, they were plus 4. With the centre clearance, they were minus 1. For turnovers, which is a good stat, the Magpies were minus 6. The Magpies only led for 52% of the game. My 3-2-1 Brownlow votes are 3 votes to N. Dacos, Collingwood, who had 2 goals, 32 disposals, 2 marks, 7 tackles, 7 clearances, and 626 metres gained. 2 votes to S. Walsh, Carlton, who had 33 disposals, 4 marks, 3 tackles, 8 clearances, and 449 metres gained. And 1 vote to N. Newman, Cowden, who had 32 disposals, 10 marks, 6 tackles, 1 clearance, and 783 metres gained. The next game is between Sydney and GWS, the Battle of the Bridge Derby. The final score was Sydney 14 goals 14-98 to the Giants 10 goals 9-69. The goal kickers for the Swans were 4 goals to Hayward, 2 goals to Rowbottom, and singles to Armani, Gordon, Heaney, Jordan, McDonald, McLean, Papley, and Chad Warner. For the Giants, 2 goals to Brown, Cadman, Daniels and Hogan, and singles to Peatling and Jones. The best players for the Swans were Warner, Rowbottom, Grundy, Gordon, Hayward and Heaney. The best players for the Giants were Callaghan, Daniels, Peatling and Cavalier. Both teams suffered injuries, with McCartan of Sydney suffering head knock, and for the Giants with Tom Green injuring his ankle. In the first quarter, the Giants kicked off by kicking 5 goals to 2 to take a 15-point lead at quarter time. In the second quarter, the Swans won this by kicking 4 goals to the Giants goalless and taking a 15-point lead at half time. In the third quarter, the Swans continued by kicking 4 goals to 3 to take an 18-point lead at 3/4 time. And in the last quarter, the Swans kicked 4 goals to 2 to run away by 29-point win. For the Swans, Gordon had 29 disposals, followed by Chad Warner and Heaney with 28 and 26 disposals respectively. For the Giants, Peatling had 24 disposals, with Kelly and Callaghan both having 24 and 23 disposals respectively. Based on the stats, the Swans were plus 7 disposals, plus 18 in kicks, minus 9 in handballs. They were way ahead in inside 50, with the Swans having 25 more inside 50s. The efficient inside 50, the Swans were minus 5%. They're fortunate to have heaps of inside 50s, as their efficient inside 50 was less than the Giants and poor. The free kicks, the Swans were plus 9, and in terms of hitouts, the Swans were plus 20 with Grundy and ruck. The clearances, the Swans were plus 12, and centre clearance, the Swans were plus 2. The Swans led for 80% of the game. My 3-2-1 for the Brownlow votes are 3 votes to E. Gordon, Sydney, who had 1 goal, 29 disposals, 3 marks, 2 tackles, 5 clearances, 765 metres gained, and 1 goal assist. 2 votes to W. Hayward, Sydney, who had 4 goals, 16 disposals, 5 marks, 7 tackles, 1 clearances, and 225 metres gained. 1 vote to I. Heaney, Sydney, who had 1 goal, 26 disposals, 2 marks, 6 tackles, 7 clearances, and 415 metres gained. The next game is between St Kilda and North Melbourne, for which 27,009 people attended the match at Marvel Stadium. The final score was St Kilda 15 goals 13, 103 to North Melbourne 10 goals 5, 65. The Saints won by 28 points. The goal kickers for the Saints were 3 goals to Wilson, 2 goals to Hayes, Hill and Sinclair, and singles to Marshall, Hasty, King, Membray, Ross and Wood. For the Kangaroos, Zerha kicked 3 goals and 2 goals to Curtis and Larkey, with singles to Powell, Simpkin and Wardlaw. The best players for the Saints were Ringhager, Wangening Miller, Hayes, Howard, Sinclair and Wilson. For the Kangaroos, their best players were Fisher, McGurka, Xavier and Wardlaw. There were no injuries for either side. In the first quarter, the Saints won this quarter by kicking 4 goals to 3 to take a 6-point lead at quarter time. In the second quarter, the Saints won this by scoring 4 goals to 2 to take a 26-point lead at half time. And in the third quarter, the Saints kicked 4 goals to 3, with the Saints leading by 24 points at 3/4 time. And in the final quarter, Both teams kicked 3 goals apiece, with the Saints running away with a 38-point lead at the end of the game. For the Saints, Sinclair had 33 disposals, followed by Wangening Miller and Winghager with 29 and 25 disposals respectively. For the Kangaroos, Bachurka had 30 disposals, followed by Fisher and Sheezel with 30 and 24 disposals respectively. Based on the stats, the Saints were plus 61 disposals, they were plus 15 kicks, plus 11 in handballs, while a significant difference inside 50, with the Saints being plus 25. The Saints' efficiency inside 50 was plus 2%, and the Saints had 4 more free kicks. In terms of stoppages, in hitouts, the Saints were minus 25, but they were plus 8 in clearances and minus 1 in centre clearances. In terms of turnovers, the Saints were minus 6, and they led for 90% of the game. My 3-2-1 for the Brownlow votes are 3 votes to Jay Sinclair St Kilda, who had 2 goals, 33 disposals, 9 marks, 7 tackles, 8 clearances, and 642 minutes gained. 2 votes to D. Wilson St Kilda, who had 3 goals, 21 disposals, 8 marks, 1 tackle, 328 minutes gained, and 1 goal assist. 1 vote to C. Wachurka, North Melbourne, who had 30 disposals, 3 marks, 3 tackles, and 579 minutes gained. The next game is between Melbourne and Geelong, for which 51,795 people attended the game at the MCG. The final score were Melbourne 10 goals 14-74 to Geelong 9 goals 12-66. The Demons won by 8 points. The goal kickers for the Demons were 3 goals to Fridge, 2 goals to Pickett, and singles to Windsor, Gawn, Langdon, Chandler, and Petty. For the Cats, Oliver Henry kicked 3 goals and 2 goals to Stengel, with singles to Zed Guthrie, Close, Clark, and Dempsey. The best players for the Demons were May, Oliver, Gawn, Petrarca, and Lever. The best players for the Cats were Stewart, Atkins, Zed Guthrie, and Holmes. For the Cats, Braun suffered a shoulder injury. This game was close. In the first quarter, Demons won this quarter by kicking 3 goals to 2 to take a 4-point lead at quarter time. In the second quarter, both teams didn't kick a goal, with 11 behinds being scored in the second quarter. In the third quarter, the Cats won this quarter by kicking 4 goals to 2, with the Cats taking a 2-point lead at 3-quarter time. In the final quarter, the Demons won this quarter by kicking 5 goals to 3, with the Demons winning the game by 8 points. For the stats, the Demons were minus 9 in disposals, they were plus 22 in kicks, minus 31 in handballs. Inside 50, the Demons were plus 2. The efficient inside 50, the Cats were plus 3. And free kicks wise, the Demons plus 3. For stoppages in hitouts, the Demons were minus 3. And clearances, they were plus 1. Also, they were plus 4 in centre clearances. The Demons were minus 3 in turnovers. They were plus 21 in marks. And the Demons had led for 80% of the game. For the Demons, Oliver had 31 disposals, followed by May and Lever with 25 and 24 disposals respectively. For the Cats, Holmes had 31 disposals, followed by Zach Guthrie and Myers with 24 and 22 disposals respectively. My 3-2-1 for the Brownlow votes are 3 votes to C. Oliver, who had 31 disposals, 7 marks, 4 tackles, 4 clearances, 380 metres gained, and 1 goal assist. 2 votes to M. Holmes, Geelong, who had 31 disposals, 9 marks, 2 tackles, 695 minutes gained, and 1 vote to S. May, Melbourne, who had 25 disposals, 13 marks, 544 minutes gained, and 1 goal assist. The next game is between West Coast and Essendon, for which 51,751 people attended the game at Optus Stadium. The final score were West Coast 11 goals 5-71 to Essendon 11 goals 11-77. The goal kickers for the Eagles were 3 goals to Jay Williams and Waterman, and 2 goals to Darling, and singles to Yo, B. Williams and Chester. For the Bombers, Langford and Merritt both kicked 3 goals, with 2 goals to Wright and singles to Stringer, Dersma and Durham. The best players for the Eagles were McGowan, Dygan, Kelly and Waterman. The best players for the Bombers were Langford, Martin, Durham, Parrish and Merritt. Both teams suffered injuries, with Long doing a knee and Yo suffering a groin injury. For the Bombers, Caldwell had calf tightness. This game was close. In the first quarter, the Bombers kicked 2 goals to 1 to take a 10-point lead at quarter time. In the second quarter, the Bombers kicked 5 goals to 3 to take a 20-point lead at half time. In the third quarter, the Eagles won this quarter by kicking 8 goals to 3 with the Bombers only by 13 points at 3/4 time. And in the final quarter, the Bombers had only kicked 1 goal and the Eagles kicking 3 goals, with the Bombers winning this game in the close one by 6 points. The Eagles had momentum in the last quarter, with Waterman marking the ball. However, his team had given a reversal free kick, so therefore the Eagles were unable to take a shot due to the reversal free kick, and that could have changed the game if West Coast slotted that goal to make the margin less than a goal with 5 minutes remaining. For the Eagles, Kelly had 29 disposals, followed by Diagon and Barras with 26 and 22 disposals respectively. For the Bombers, Parrish had 36 disposals, followed by Martin and Merritt with 32 and 29 disposals respectively. For the stats, the Bombers were plus 43 in disposals, they were plus 8 in kicks, plus 36 in handballs. At inside 50, the Bombers were plus 16, and efficient inside 50, the Bombers were minus 15. They were pretty fortunate with this, given the high volume inside 50s that they had. In terms of free kicks, the Bombers were minus 5, and in hitouts, the Bombers were plus 25, and clearances, they were plus 1, with centre clearance being evened. In terms of turnovers, the Bombers were minus 11, which is a good stat, and marks, they were plus 14, with marks inside 50, even for both sides. The Bombers led for 98% of the game. My 3-2-1 for the Brownlow votes are 3 votes to Zed Merritt Essen, who had 3 goals, 29 disposals, 4 marks, 3 tackles, 3 clearances, and 436 meters gained. 2 votes to D. Parrish Essendon, who had 36 disposals, 11 marks, 5 tackles, 6 clearances, and 499 meters gained. 1 vote to N. Martin Essen, who had 32 disposals, 8 marks, 2 tackles, 2 clearances, 630 meters gained, and 1 goal assist. The next game of the week is between Richmond and Fremantle. The final score were Richmond 6 goals 13-49 to Fremantle 15 goals 13-103. The Dockers won by 9 goals in 54 points. The goal kickers for the Tigers were 2 goals to Lefayu and singles to Mansell, McIntosh, Ralph Smith and Sonsei. For the Dockers, Tracy kicked 4 goals and 2 goals to Amos, Darcy and Young, and singles to Banfield, Frederick, Johnson, Sharp and Walters. The best players for the Tigers were Martin, Di Rioli, Shaw and Baker. For the Dockers, their best players were Tracy, Brayshaw, Sarong, Ryan and Young. This game was not close at all. In the first quarter, the Dockers kicked 3 goals to 1, take a 13-point lead at quarter time. In the second quarter, which Fremantle dominated, restricted the Tigers to 4 behinds, with the Dockers kicking 3 goals themselves to take a 31-point lead at half time. In the third quarter, the Dockers were outscored by Richmond. The Tigers kicked 3 goals and the Dockers only kicked 2 goals. However, the Dockers were leading by 4 goals at 3/4 time. In the final quarter, where the Dockers totally dominated, they kicked 7 goals to 2 to win by 54 points. For the Tigers, Short had 28 disposals, followed by Martin and Wolstein with 23 and 22 disposals respectively. For the Dockers, Ryan had 39 disposals, followed by Sarong and Brayshaw with 38 and 31 disposals respectively. Based on the stats, the Dockers were plus 78 in disposals, they were plus 47 in kicks, in handballs the Dockers were plus 35, and inside 50, significant difference, the Dockers were plus 21, with their efficiency inside 50 plus 6%. In free kicks, the Dockers were plus 9. In terms of hitouts, the Dockers were minus 8, with their clearances plus 20 and centre clearances plus 9. The Dockers had 33 more marks, and the Dockers led for 95% of the game. My 3-2-1 for the Brownlow votes are 3 votes to L. Ryan Fremantle, who had 39 disposals, 15 marks, 2 tackles, and 628 meters gained. 2 votes to C. Sarong, who had 38 disposals, 8 marks, 5 tackles, 6 clearances, 603 meters gained, and 1 goal assist. And 1 vote to H. Young Fremantle, who had 2 goals, 3 disposals, 7 marks, 5 tackles, 8 clearances, 439 meters gained, and 1 goal assist. The next game of the week is between the Western Bulldogs and Hawthorn. The final score were Western Bulldogs 14 goals 7-91 to Hawthorn 14 goals 14, 98. The Hawks won by 7 points. The goal kickers to the Bulldogs were 2 goals to Ugle-Hagel, English, Bontempelli, Williams, Norton and Vandermeer, and singles to Richards and Darcy. For the Hawks, McDonald kicked 3 goals and 2 goals to Dier on debut and Gunston, and singles to Ginnivan, Sicily, Meek, Moore, Newcombe, Ward and Weddle. The best players for the Bulldogs were Richards, Treloar, Dale, English and Bontempelli. The best players for the Hawks were Newcombe, Moore, Meek, Impey and Sicily. Sicily has suffered a shoulder injury. This game was close. In the first quarter, the Western Bulldogs kicked 5 goals to 4 to take a 5-point lead at quarter time. In the second quarter, the Hawks won this quarter by kicking 3 goals to 1 to take an 8-point lead at half time. In the third quarter, both teams kicked 2 goals apiece, with the Hawks leading by 8 points at 3-quarter time. And in the final quarter, the Hawks kicked 5 goals to the Bulldogs 6, with the Hawks winning by 7 points. However, with a minute remaining, with the Bulldogs trailing by a goal, Ugle-Hagel marked the ball from 50 metres out. He went for the set shot and the ball hit the post on the full. The Hawks took the other end, scored behind and won by the 7 points. For the Bulldogs, Treloar had 33 disposals, followed by Dale and Bontempelli with 29 and 26 disposals respectively. For the Hawks, Impey had 27 disposals, followed by Moore and Hardwick with 24 and 22 disposals respectively. Looking at the stats, the Hawks were +3 in disposals, they were +26 in kicks, they were -17 in handballs, they were +1 inside 50. The efficient inside 50, the Hawks were +15%. The Hawks were +3 in free kicks. In terms of hitouts for stoppages, the Hawks were +11, and clearances, the Hawks were -16. For turnovers, the Hawks were -20, and the Hawks led for 75% of the game. My 3-2-1 for the Brownlow votes are 3 votes to A. Treloar, Bulldogs, who had 33 disposals, 1 mark, 7 tackles, 9 clearances, and 403 metres gained. 2 votes to J. Impey, Hawthorn, who had 27 disposals, 12 marks, 3 tackles, 1 clearances, and 323 metres gained. 1 vote to B. Dale, Bulldogs, who had 29 disposals, 8 marks, 1 tackle, 1 clearances, 691 metres gained, and 1 goal assist. The next game is the local Q-Clash derby between Brisbane Lions and Gold Coast Suns. The final score were Brisbane 10 goals 19-79, Gold Coast 6 goals 9-45. The Lions won by 34 points. The goal kickers for the Lions were 2 goals to Gardner and Danaher, and singles to Sharp, Morris, Lohman, Dunkley, Cameron and Berry. For the Giants, King had kicked 3 goals and singles to Walter, Long and Ainsworth. The best players for the Lions were Zorko, Neal, McCluggage, Dunkley, Wilmot and McKenna. The best players for the Suns were Flanders, Miller, Fiorini, Anderson and Howe. The game was not close at all, with the Lions winning by 34 points. In the first quarter, the Lions kicked 5 goals to 2 to take a 22-point lead at quarter time. In the second quarter, the Lions kicked 3 goals to Gold Coast, 3 behinds, with the Lions taking a 5-goal lead at half time. In the third quarter, the Lions were goalless and kicked 9 behinds compared to the Suns, who kicked 2 goals, with the Lions leading by 36 points at 3-quarter time. In the last quarter, the Lions kicked 2 goals to Gold Coast, who also kicked 2 goals, with the Lions winning by 34 points. The Lions won all 4 quarters. For the Lions, Zorko had 39 disposals, followed by Neal and McCluggage with 34 and 31 disposals respectively. For the Suns, Flanders had 30 disposals, followed by Miller and Fiorini with 25 and 23 disposals respectively. For the stats, the Lions were +73 in disposals, they had 102 more kicks, they had -29 in handballs. Inside 50, the Lions were +18, with their efficiency inside 50 +13%. The Lions had 4 more free kicks. In terms of hitouts, the Lions were -9. In clearances, they were +3, with the centre clearance being +7. In terms of turnovers, the Lions were -7, and the Lions led for 95% of the game. My 3-2-1 for the Brownlow votes are 3 votes to D. Zorko, Brisbane, who had 40 disposals, 16 marks, 5 tackles, 3 clearances, and 852 metres gained. 2 votes to L. Neil, Brisbane, who had 34 disposals, 9 marks, 8 tackles, 3 clearances, 312 metres gained, and 2 goal assists. 1 vote to H. McCluggage, who had 32 disposals, 7 marks, 4 tackles, 9 clearances, and 611 metres gained. My summary of votes after round 8 for the Brownlow are: in top spot is I. Healy, Sydney, with 16 votes. In second spot is C. Sarong, Fremantle, with 15 votes. In joint third spot with 13 votes are Z. Merritt, Essendon, and Z. Butters, Port Adelaide. That's the end, and thanks for watching. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and comment on my channel. Every subscriber will be appreciated.